Hi, and welcome to episode 21 of Soft Signal. Um, don't let our smiles deceive you. We're pretty broken inside. Um, and the reason is we will talk about it in the episode today. But if if you're a cricket fan, you know what's happened. We've lost the third test. And that means, of course, coach, captain need to be sacked. We need to make wholesale changes to the team, and Indian cricket is over as we know it. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct, right? It's time for India A to replace India's senior team for the rest of the series.
Yeah.
Uh,
If Dravid and Lakshman were there, they would have batted day four. I think that's
exactly. If Tendulkar and Ganguly were there, we would have recreated the magic in Headingley from 2002.
yeah. It's
But jokes apart, how quickly have things changed since last week, right? It just feels like a couple of days ago we were on here talking about how brilliant India was at Lords.
and we
Um,
both predicted a win.
yes,
We said 2-0, and then they will be unassailable lead.
yes.
And yeah, now it's just
Yeah.
yeah, it's just inexplicable. There's so many things to cover in this match. And yeah, I forgot to mention in my intro that if you the regular thing that I say that if this is your first time watching, please subscribe to us. We do cover the highs and the lows as we're covering in this episode of Indian cricket. And if you've been watching us for a long time, thanks again for watching. And let's get into the analysis of the third test. I think it started, funnily enough, on a good note because actually, let's go back. What do you think of retaining the same 11 from the second test?
Yeah, this is what I've been saying. I've been saying it from the start of the series. Uh, you cannot have Ishan Sharma or Mohammad Shami bat at number eight. It's laughable. It really is laughable. So when Shardul Thakur was deemed fit for the third test, and we had this discussion in the preview of this match, we did say that Shardul Thakur should come back, bat at number eight, because he bolsters the batting and he also offers an option to swing the ball, uh,
Yeah,
which, which none of the other guys do, to be honest. We saw that in the World Test Championship final. So Shardul Thakur not being in the 11, big question mark. I don't see how that happened, uh, and I really hope that they don't do the same in the fourth Test match.
yeah. I think they might make some changes, but do you believe in this whole winning combination thing that you can't disturb a winning combination? Because
No,
I think Kohli believes in that pretty strongly.
yeah, but the thing is that yes, that combination brought them a victory, but it tapered over the fact that India's batting is still fragile.
Yeah,
Because you look back at the Lord's Test, when uh, Mohammad Shami or Ishan Sharma came to bat at number eight, or let me put it this way: before the big partnership between between Shami and Bumrah, uh, we were still in trouble,
yeah,
right? So it took numbers 9 and 10 to have a partnership which they will not have every other day and every other test match to pull us out of it. So, yes, that combination brought us a win. However, it only tapered over the fact that India's batting lineup is weak and is probably too short. So, win or no win in Lords, the fact is you cannot have one of these guys bat at number eight in a test match. It simply is not correct. That's the first problem. So I don't agree, and there are many more, and we'll talk about that. But I don't agree to the combination to the 11 that we have. We talk a lot about balance and all rounders bringing balance. Um, I don't think this lineup is balanced at the moment with Ishan Sharma coming in at number eight.
yeah.
It's just not possible.
Yeah, and he wants this 4+1 balance, which four by spaces, one spinner, which I don't know, might again you can't be too stubborn about these things, right? Yeah, maybe Headingley is it's a traditionally a fast bowler's pitch, so but there has to be some flexibility. So I hope they are open to changing things around, especially after a loss like this.
Yeah, I mean, but we can have the four seamers option. We can have it, but Shardul Thakur needs to be that fourth seamer.
Yeah,
In the absence of a genuine all-rounder or a batting all-rounder like Hardik Pandya, Shardul Thakur needs to be the bowling all-rounder. and then that way you can play four seamers. And we saw his bowling in the first Test match. Nothing wrong with it. He's bowled. He was the second seamer in Australia
Yeah.
when everybody else was injured. Nothing wrong. So why can't Shardul Thakur be the fourth seamer, bat at number eight, thereby bolster your batting, and allow you to have that combination? At the moment, the batting is just too thin. It's just too thin, and you cannot have Bumrah and Shami partnership every
Yeah.
other match. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, we will talk about that in a bit more detail in our next episode where we preview the test. But Kohli actually won the toss, which is a rarity for him, and he chose to bat. Obviously, in hindsight, it's easy to say it was the bad decision. I don't think it was a typical that necessarily a bad decision. I think they were the pitch looked okay, and England batted the same day, and they got to like 120 for no loss. So yeah, it's one of those days. Not as bad as 36 all out, but 78 all out was. The English bowling was also impeccable. You got to give it to them, especially Anderson that first spell, getting 3 wickets. But again, the Indian batsmen getting out the exact same way, and Rahane, Kohli, Pujara all failed in the first innings. I mean, everyone failed, but they failed again, and it just no one got set. It was just a horror batting performance.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I don't think the decision to bat first was the wrong decision.
Yeah,
I think given the form that the openers have been in, it was fine. I think Kohli only backed them to actually get through. So that's fine. I don't see that as being a bad decision. But I 100% agree with you about the fact that the batsmen are getting out the same way again and again. This I completely agree with you. Also, I uh, I think I think the problem of Pujara and Rahane has not gone away. Okay, but I know that I said that before the start of this Test match, drop that we should probably change Pujara with Vihari and keep Rahane. But I still agree with that. Except that I think now Rahane should also go. So I agree partially with that, but but I also think that Rahane needs to work on something. I mean, he just seems to lose.
yeah.
He's a number five. When he comes to the crease, there's this sense of inevitability that he's going to get out anytime now.
You don't feel confident at all, right? That,
Exactly, and he's a number five batsman. He's the engine room, right? So the so-called engine room group of batsmen. Um, he's the vice captain. So I think with Rahane, uh, I don't know what he needs to do. He probably needs to work on his technique. I'm not an expert on technique, so I don't know. But there just seems to be a sense of inevitability when Rahane walks to the crease. And um, just to explain that point better, you compare Kohli with Rahane, right? Kohli is not going through a very good patch either, but when he bats, even now, without being in good form, you feel a sense of security the way he plays. Okay, he's nicking a few and getting out, but at least he doesn't look completely loose. He doesn't look completely out of sorts. Rahane looks completely out of sorts. You just feel that he's going to get out any moment. With Pujara, probably a little less than that, but we'll come to Pujara. We'll talk about Pujara's second innings performance, and that's when I'll probably explain a bit more about what I feel about Pujara. But yeah, there's a problem there. There's a problem with India, with the length of India's batting, and with the personnel of India's batting, especially Rahane.
yeah, it's. I mean, I know we had a brief discussion about this over text while the innings was happening. I agree, Kohli looks good, but again, you need to get the runs, right? So, and I don't understand how these three guys are on their third tour of England now, and they're still getting out the exact same way. Like first tour, you understand, second tour, third, 3 tours now. They played all over the world, and they can't control that fifth stump. Actually, Ollie Robinson playing is just his fifth or sixth test match. At the post match in presentation, he said, "Oh, we have a plan for Virat. We just bowl fourth or fifth stump, get it to angle away, and he'll nick it." Now that is actually, if you look at it, it's a pretty arrogant statement, and you can get angry about it. But it's sad that it's come to this, that one of the greatest batsmen ever, they know they just have such a simple plan for him, right? It's it speaks volumes actually about the current state of the batting.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of there's something else to do with it. I think there's also this. We talk a lot about prioritization and what batsmen do. Uh, I think I think when you look at the Kohli of 2018, he cared, and this probably might sound wrong, but I think it's just my opinion. I think it's a fact. He probably felt strongly in terms of doing really, really well with the bat, right? So there was a lot of priority focused on the number of runs he scored, how he scored them, where he scored them, when he scored them. I think the Kohli of 2021 is prioritizing the win of the need to win for the test team in general
Yeah,
more than his own batting. So I think he's prioritizing that. I think he's spending more efforts on that as opposed to what he did in 2018, where he did really focus a lot on improving his batting outside of stump and all of this because of his horror series in 2014. So I think there is a lot of that is also affecting his form. Um, of course, it's sad. It's not great, right? I mean, at the end of the day, he's a batsman. He needs to score runs and contribute because that will help the team win.
yeah,
It's a bit of a difficult situation for Kohli to be in. Um, but again, the only thing I will say is that when Kohli is at the crease, he still doesn't look like a walking wicket.
yeah,
You know, whereas Rahane, I wouldn't say the same.
yeah. Agreed. I mean, Kohli won't be dropped. We all know it. It will be a task for them to drop even Pujara or Rahane. So
Yeah.
Kohli getting dropped is out of the question. But yeah, he needs to sort out that problem. It's sad that people are saying it so explicitly now. But yeah, after 78 all out, I think there was no. The only chance was if we had got them out for maybe 200, had a 100-run lead. That would have been a possibility. But yeah, England just poor. I wouldn't say we were particularly bad with the ball. I would have liked if we had got a couple of wickets on the first day at least. Like getting, but this third day, no, second day, we actually bowled pretty well. The net score on that day was 300 for 8, which on a batting wicket was pretty decent. Joe Root again, he's just in sublime form. Third century of the series. Not much you can do against that kind of batting on a good batting wicket.
Yeah, I mean, he's a class act. He's in superb form. You're right. There's really not much you can do. The sense of inevitability we spoke about Rahane getting out. It's the exact reverse with Root. There's just a sense of inevitability that he's going to get 100. Just the way he comes out. Look at his strike rate. Observe his strike rate when he comes out to bat. He's like 10 runs of 15 balls, 20 runs of 35 balls, 40 runs of 60 balls. So he's getting runs and he's getting them so easily and so quickly that it's sort of he's taking the game away from you really quickly. So Root's been in sublime form, and there's only that much you can do against a batsman of that caliber when he's in sublime form. Yeah, you're right. I think India's bowlers bowled well. If you look at the second day in isolation, they bowled well. Uh, England still managed to score 400 plus, but really, we always see this happening, right? Whenever a team gets out really cheaply in the first innings, the other team tends to score a lot of runs in the first innings, and we wonder why. Why is this happening? And the reason that this happens is because the team that got out cheaply, then the bowlers of that team tend to overcompensate, right? They
Yeah,
tend to try to take wickets every ball. They're not as patient because they feel the need to get the team back into the game quickly. As a result, runs leak. Batsmen score a lot quicker. Scoring rates are faster, and that's exactly what happened. That's how
yeah,
England got to 400 odd in the first innings. And honestly, from there, it was always going to be an uphill task for India to come back into the game, and that's what happened. They
yeah.
never
I
did
think
come back to the game.
it was 350 runs. I think no team has ever. I was reading on Cricinfo. They might have drawn, but no one has ever won from that. even when that famous win for us was 274. So I don't think anyone expected that we could win. I think the like again my hope was that we put up a fight. I was hoping we could at least cross the 354 and make them bat again, even if it was 10, 15, 20 runs. It was just giving some confidence, and it actually looked. Day three was of the day that belonged to India. Scoring was slow, but we managed 200 runs for 2 wickets. Again, Rohit batted really well. Was unlucky a bit to get out, and then Pujara and Kohli. Yeah, you wanted to talk about Pujara's second innings performance. Surprisingly positive. 91. Wish he had continued and got the 100, and Kohli got a 50 as well.
Yeah, I think the difference with Pujara in the second innings was that he came out looking to score. And I think it's been a pattern with Pujara for a long time now that the guy comes out with an intention to just block. Now, I can understand his strategy has been that, block, 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 tire the bowlers, and cash in later. But on these English wickets, and I've said this before in our previews and reviews, on English wickets like this, you cannot survive like that because the ball is swinging and doing something always. So the bowlers are always in with a chance. They're always hopeful. So you need to have some positive intent. You cannot just come in and beat 10 runs of 80 balls.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. So the difference I saw, at least with Pujara in that second innings, was that he came out with a positive intent. He looked to score, and we saw that in his strike rate. His strike rate was around 50, which is a good strike rate for any batsman in a Test match in
Yeah.
England. Um, so if I would like to see Pujara do more of this, if he is willing to do more of this, I would still keep him in the team for some time. But if he's going to go back to his previous method of block, 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 then honestly, I would not want him in the test match, in the test team, because when you go in with that attitude, you're just going to save the test match at best. You're not going to
Yeah.
win any test matches for your team. So it was refreshing to see Pujara bat like that. Honestly, it really was. Um, and and you're right. Kohli got some runs as well. And for a brief moment there, it really looked good. The pitch looked flat. India's batting was looking solid. Rohit Sharma had scored a 50 by then. But everything unraveled really quickly because think of it. Rahane at number 5 is a walking wicket. Rishabh Pant, um, Rishabh Pant's not been really good this series. Let's. I remember at the start of the series, my prediction was that he would be India's highest run scorer.
Well, he
That's not,
might get two triple centuries in the last two tests. So.
yeah, he'll have to do that in order
Yeah.
to be the highest scorer. I don't see that happening. Uh, honestly, and Jadeja coming in at number 7, I don't fault him for not scoring as many runs as he can because he bats with number 11s most of the time,
Yeah.
right? So once that partnership was broken and the new ball was doing its bit like you can expect it to do in England, we simply didn't have the batting capability or the batting form to handle it, and things unraveled really quickly.
Yeah, it was 10 for 78 on the first day. It was 8 for 63 on the fourth day. And it was sad because it actually gave us some hope. Again, not of maybe drawing or winning, but at least of if we had batted it that day out, even if we were 9 down, who knows, right? And Pujara, he just that stupid shot, just not offering a shot. There was no shot that
Yeah.
in the third over, and then it just went downhill. It was. I wanted to talk for a minute about Rishabh Pant because, of course, we can't drop him because he's first of all he's performed really well over the past year, and secondly, there's no replacement available. But someone needs to talk. I know Kohli and Shastri are like we want to back him to play his natural game, which is all great when it comes off. But the natural game has to. He's been playing Test cricket for 4 years now. You can't just charge Anderson every over and play the same way. He's playing on bad balls and sixth stump. It's just ridiculous, right? It's I don't know. Sehwag looks like Dravid compared to how Pant is batting.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And the point that you're making here is one of the biggest debates that people have in cricket, right?
Yeah.
Do you back your natural game, or do you play according to the situation? So I think there has to be a bit of both. Yes, you need to absolutely yeah, I mean, you need to have the self confidence, of course, to have your own game. But at the same time, when you're coming up in situations where you've got bowlers bowling as well as Anderson and Robinson were, you need to give them some respect. And I think
Yeah.
that's what Rishabh Pant needs to do. If there was a Jack Leach bowling, for example, fine, I back Rishabh Pant to keep hitting him for sixes. Okay, but here's Jimmy Anderson and Ollie Robinson in swinging conditions, and they are doing something with the ball. Yeah, you need to, as a batsman, you need to take a step back and give them the credit by showing some respect. Um, I think sometimes the problem with Rishabh Pant is that these guys throw a wide ball at him, and he's like, okay, this is a boundary opportunity. Yeah, it is a boundary opportunity on flat batting surfaces, but in England, where the ball is going to continuously move around, it's not always a boundary opportunity.
Yeah.
um, and that's what's happening with him, right? Because he's going around wafting at deliveries way outside of stump. So yeah, he needs to restrain. He cannot bat in England the way he batted in Australia or the way he
Yeah.
bats in India. You're right about that. I totally agree. He needs to show some sort of adaptability.
Yeah. And he's I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah, pretty much around the same line that he needs to realize this is England, and he's batted. Yeah, what I was going to say is that this is not like he's Afridi. He knows how to construct an innings. He has done it before. So just some kind of self-discipline, self-restraint would really work well for him. But yeah, there was nothing much to say about the test. We lost by an innings. In some ways, it's actually, as long as these don't happen consistently, maybe we just got a one bad game out of the way. Better to lose like this than to lose by 40 runs or 2 wickets or something. Is there a style of a loss is a loss, but I think maybe these kind of losses can sometimes be better than close losses.
Yeah, I agree. At least from here, there's only one way, and that's up.
Yeah,
We everyone used the same adage back in Australia. It seemed to work for us. Maybe it'll work again. So um, I think they will put up a better performance simply because you cannot get out for 78 again and again.
yeah,
But I really hope, and I really, really, really hope strongly that they do not go with four number 11s again in the next test match.
yeah.
Shardul Thakur needs to play that one. I really think he needs to play that one.
That's correct, and we will actually talk about it right in our next episode, which will be coming up shortly over the next couple of days. But for now, I think we shouldn't spend so long talking about bad things. But there's actually no positives for India from this match, so I don't think there's maybe the second innings batting of Pujara. That's the only thing. But yeah, it was just a dreadful test. So let's end this here. And thanks for watching, and we will be back with the preview of the fourth test.
Yeah, thanks for watching and like, share, and subscribe.